What do you get when you mix sword and sandal epics with pure British silliness? You get On Cleo, a film that turns Roman history upside down and inside out, leaving behind a trail of absolute nonsense and absolute comedy gold. This is the film that gave us Kenneth Williams as the campest Julius Caesar in cinematic history.
Charming! What a welcome for a great emperor!
Sid James as the roughest, gruffest Mark Antony imaginable.
All right. Look, if you don't want the goods, stop messing them about.
And of course, the legendary line,
Infamy! Infamy! They've all got it, infamy!
a joke so famous it's been voted one of the greatest of all time. But On Cleo isn't just about the laughs. This is a film with backstabbing, mistaken identities, gladiatorial combat, and a set design that might look strangely familiar. In fact, it might just be the cheapest blockbuster ever made. And we'll get to that.
If anyone in there asks who we are, say we're eunuchs, eh? Yeah. What have we got to lose?
The film opens in Britain, where Mark Antony is leading his Roman troops through the worst conditions imaginable: pouring rain, knee-deep mud, and a general sense that nobody, least of all Antony, actually wants to be there.
Antony.
Hail, snow, sleet, thunder, lightning, a lot.
Meanwhile, two British villagers, Hengist Pod and Horsa,
Do you mean to say we're going to fight them? Well, if we can just hold them up till we get word to Boadicea.
are doing their best to raise the alarm about the Roman invasion.
It's hard work catching these damn Britons. All right, on your way.
Unfortunately, their heroic attempt is immediately thwarted when they get captured and shipped off to Rome as slaves. Now, let's talk about Hengist Pod, played by the brilliantly anxious Kenneth Connor.
I can hear them coming. We're done for.
Hengist is not exactly your typical action hero. His big talent? Inventing completely useless things, like his famous square wheels, which are supposed to be an improvement, but unsurprisingly don't work at all. His companion, Horsa, played by Jim Dale, is the actual competent one,
But don't give up hope, men. Remember, Hengist is on his way to our army.
but that doesn't seem to matter. Once in Rome, the two are put up for sale in the slave market by the rather familiar-sounding trading firm Marcus et Spensius.
Mark him up, will you? WC? Oh, no.
Horsa, being strong and heroic, is quickly sold. Hengist, Hengist, is left standing there.
I just struck me with a little lion. Look.
That means you'll be going to the Lions, mate.
Things look bleak until a sudden assassination attempt on Julius Caesar goes wrong, and in the chaos, Horsa actually saves Caesar's life. Except nobody sees him do it. Instead, it's Hengist who gets all the credit.
That's him.
Are you sure they're holding him the right way out?
Before he knows it, he's been declared the bravest warrior in Rome and given the worst possible promotion, Caesar's personal bodyguard.
Good night.
And speaking of Caesar, let's talk about Kenneth Williams. If there's one thing Williams was born to do, it was play a gloriously pompous, flouncing, sarcastic ruler.
Oh, come on, stop hanging it out. We've got to get underway.
His Julius Caesar is a man who seems constantly exasperated by everything and everyone.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Oh, it's not your fault, Bilius. It's this wretched country.
Sighing and rolling his eyes through most of the film. Whether he's delivering great speeches,
Friends, Romans,
I know.
or simply complaining about his surroundings, he's never anything less than hilarious.
Oh, I wish he'd use a lighter notepaper.
But Rome is just the beginning. Meanwhile, in Egypt, Cleopatra is facing her own problems. Amanda Barry's version of the Egyptian queen is a delightful mix of charm and cluelessness.
Oh, don't apologise, please. I could forgive such a handsome visitor anything.
Spending most of the film either seducing powerful men or trying to get out of trouble.
Oh, thank you. It's just what I always wanted.
Oh, that's nothing.
So now I'm the undisputed queen of all Egypt.
Mark Antony is sent to deal with her, but rather than forcing her to abdicate, he immediately falls under her spell. Before long, the two are plotting to take over Rome together.
Supposing Caesar were to die suddenly.
Giving you Ptolemy's head.
We have an old saying in Egypt, 2 heads are better than 1.
Their first step, get rid of Caesar, but of course, this being On Cleo, the assassination plot does not go smoothly. Caesar, sensing danger, swaps places with Hengist Pod.
I'm not used to this sort of thing. Making passionate love and all that. You've been married for 10 years. That's what I mean.
Cleopatra attempts to seduce him, completely unaware of the switch. Hengist, who has no idea what's happening, accidentally exposes the entire plot, leading to absolute chaos.
You mess things up once too often.
Meanwhile, Horsa, who has once again been captured and put to work as a galley slave, manages to free himself and lead a revolt. just in time to crash into the palace and save the day.
Give me your sword.
Oh, no, let Hengist. He's best at it.
After a climactic fight, Caesar, Hengist, and Horsa make a dramatic escape, leaving Cleopatra and Mark Antony to their fate.
Wait for me!
But history must play out as expected. Back in Rome, Caesar meets his famous end on the Ides of March.
Oh, hello? Do I detect a feeling of animosity here?
Hengist and Horsa return to Britain, probably none the wiser about how they just altered the course of history.
Like to come inside for a bit, darling?
I might.
And Mark Antony, well, he and Cleopatra are left in Egypt. Now, let's talk about the film itself. If some of the sets look suspiciously good for a carry-on film, that's because they weren't originally meant for Carry On Cleo at all. In fact, the production got incredibly lucky. The Hollywood epic Cleopatra, starring Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton, had originally started filming at Pinewood Studios in the UK. However, production issues, mainly the awful British weather, caused the entire production to be moved to Rome's Cinecittà Studios. The lavish sets and costumes built at Pinewood were abandoned and discarded. Enter the Carry On team, who saw a golden opportunity. Normally working on tiny budgets, they snapped up the leftover sets, costumes and props, giving their comedy an unexpectedly grand and cinematic look. That's why, despite being a typically low-budget Carry On film, Carry On Cleo has some of the most impressive set designs in the entire series. This lucky break helped the film become a huge success, both critically and at the box office.
Oh, hello!
Unlike many other Carry On films, which often split opinions, Carry On Cleo is widely regarded as one of the best in the series.
You are impregnable, aren't you?
No, sir. It's just that Senna didn't want any kids just now.
The combination of a genuinely strong script, memorable performances,
Onions from Spain!
I've got some Spanish onions.
Stones from far off Gaul!
She's got gallstones and all!
and some of the funniest wordplay in British comedy history
Tony, I am undone. My end is in sight.
Well, you better do yourself up again, quickly.
made it an instant classic. The film was a huge success, both critically and at the box office. Unlike many of the other Carry On films, which often split opinions,
Monica, what are you doing?
Oh, hello.
Carry On Cleo is widely regarded as one of the best in the series. The combination of a genuinely strong script, memorable performances, and some of the funniest wordplay in British comedy history
Then we'll do it.
Do what?
Oh, Zambit, there must be an easier way to make a killing.
made it an instant classic. Of course, it's impossible to talk about the film without mentioning that famous line.
Infamy! Infamy! They've all got it in for me.
Delivered by Kenneth Williams as Caesar, it's one of the most quoted jokes in British comedy history. Written by Talbot Rothwell, the gag was actually borrowed from the comedian Frank Muir, but in Williams's hands, it became legendary.
Want them to augur something really nice for me.
Don't be shouting last augurs, please.
Even today, Carry On Cleo remains one of the most beloved entries in the series. Its mix of historical nonsense,
Mother was eaten by a brontosaurus a few days ago.
Oh, that was too bad.
Brontosaurus died within the hour.
brilliant wordplay, and perfectly over-the-top performances make it a film that never gets old. Whether it's Sid James grumbling his way,
Right, here goes.
Kenneth Connor accidentally saving the day for the 100th time,
You what would you? Right, take that!
or Kenneth Williams delivering another exasperated sigh.
I do feel queer.
Every moment is pure comedy gold. So, if you've never seen Carry On Cleo, do yourself a favour and watch it. Just don't expect an accurate history lesson, unless, of course, you believe that Julius Caesar really did flee Rome because of a very small British man with a very large talent for getting into trouble.
Hand over your sword.
Go and get his...
What, kid? Remember what happened to Bilius and the others.